Yeah, we're live. Happy Thursday, everyone. We are here in the customer lounge. We're going to go over all the in-stock suspension options we have here at Rockstar Garage, as well as all the in-stock tire options we have. At the moment, tires is easy, we can get. But as we know, specialty parts, exhaust, wheels, they're very hard to get right now. If you kept up with our social media, if you haven't, I suggest you do. There's a lot of cool content on there on our Instagram and our YouTube. We did basically what we're doing now. We went live and we went over all the in-stock exhaust and wheel options, what sounds good, what's street friendly, what isn't, what drones, sound characteristics, and all our in-stock wheel options too. So when we go over the wheels and tires in these segments, I'm not going over all like the fitment and sizes and all that kind of stuff. We go over into all that science on our YouTube channel in both series, Will It Fit and Talking Tires. So check those out. But without further ado, let's I said again. I'm going to try not to do that for you, Rockstars. I'm not going to say But without further ado, let's get into the first in-stock option here for our coilovers. It is our RSG spec Feel Suspension Coilover. This specifically is the 441 Plus. It is spec'd with Swift springs and these spherical tops. Valved 1210, 1412 normally. For the more track focused guys with level 1 aero and stickier tires, square setup, I would recommend the 1412. The 1210 is a great dual duty spring rate. Great for the street, still very compliant while being nice and firm through the canyons and some light track work. So if you don't plan on hitting the track a lot, I wouldn't recommend the 1412, especially if you don't have aero. I ran them on my car, and even though I did have some sticky tires to go along with it, they are a little bit much for the street. 1210 is what I would recommend. So if you have any questions on spring rates, hope that helped you out. We do, however, offer specialty spring rates, of course, for those of you who are running big aero, sticky tires, wide bodies with special suspension setups, WiseFab, all that kind of good stuff. So we can do 1616, 1614, or even higher than that if your application calls for it. So let's move on. We're going to go to the 443. Now, we're skipping the 442 because one, I don't have one, and two, because it aesthetically looks identical to this with the external reservoir. So what's cool about the Feel Suspension is they're modular. So you can buy the 441, which are the one-way, upgrade them to the two-way, get them rebuilt to the three-way, and back down. You don't have to buy individual coilovers. You don't have to buy the 441, the 442, and the 443 all different times. So that's really, really cool. Feel is very local. They're right up the street, so to speak. We have a fantastic relationship with them. Customer service issues are resolved almost instantaneously and rebuilds. However, they don't happen overnight. Compared to the other long queue times we're seeing, we can get them rebuilt for you fairly quickly. So, Feel Suspension. Not only that, I skipped over the most important aspect of Feel Suspension coilovers. They are bespoke to the S2000 chassis. So, companies like Öhlins, which we'll get into shortly, KW, JRZ, Moton, Penske, all these coilover companies which offer fantastic coilovers. Their off-the-shelf coilover is an off-the-shelf valving. So I know that they'll do specialty stuff for you if you call them and ask them, but what they give you out of the box like this isn't bespoke to the S2000 like you see here, and the 441 like you saw earlier. So that's really cool. Not only do you have something that's bespoke to the chassis, you're going to get great feedback from the suspension. You're going to get great ride characteristics, rideability, comfortability, compliance. So it's not like these, I'm not going to name any names of these cheaper or subpar coilovers, but you know, around that $1,000 price point, what are you really getting? You're getting something that's not high quality. The materials are very low quality. The spring rates are very stiff for no reason. They're over valved just because they think stiffer is better. And that's not always the case. So these are bespoke to the chassis. They are as compliant as, say, something like Öhlins and KW. But as we've seen, check out our YouTube videos and check out the cars that have run these coilovers. They've broken records all over the country. So not only do they ride just as well, but they're way faster. Alrighty. Feel Suspension, always in stock here at Rockstar Garage, can ship them anywhere. And not only can we get them for the S2000, but we can get them for any application. We had some 86s in here recently. They got some suspension work done. NSXs, Supras, CTRs, you name it, we can get it for you. So not only we can get it for the S2000, but for other applications as well. So local installation is available for you guys. We can set them up for you, corner balance it, align it, set it to your specifications. And not only are you buying, when you buy the suspension from us, you're buying the support that's behind it. So, we're not going to leave you high and dry. We'll still offer support throughout, your driving, I don't want to call it career. Maybe you're not a professional, but those of you who are getting into track days or starting to build your car, we'll support you along the way and, help you out as we see. So, alrighty. Öhlins suspension. Öhlins is kind of a tough one for me to talk about because, yes, they've been around for an incredibly long time. They make OEM suspension components for some of the highest end cars, supercars out there, for motorbikes, motorbikes like Yamaha. They have Öhlins suspension. They offer Öhlins suspension upgrades for a ton of high-end motorbikes as well as cars, so we know that they're fantastic. However, the biggest difference here is why I brought them out. It's not bespoke to the S2000 chassis. However, if you are looking for something that is more compliance oriented, all you care about is softness, you want the Öhlins name, you want your S2000 to ride like a Cadillac, Öhlins is probably going to be the suspension for you, but keep in mind, they do not come assembled. One of my gripes with Öhlins is you have to put it together yourself. Maybe there's magic juju. Maybe when you sweat and you bleed from your knuckles hitting your suspension components and you put it all together and it comes together, maybe there's magic juju. I don't know, but you do have to put them together when you get it. So if you are paying a suspension shop to do this, the labor rate is probably going to be higher just due to the installation and labor time. So keep that in mind. All in stock at Rockstar Garage, all fantastic options. If you have any questions on the suspension stuff we went over today, leave a comment, DM us, stop by, give me a call. Love talking suspension, love talking cars, love talking mods. So I would love to set something up for you based off of your car setup, your suspension setup, what you're planning to do with the car, what tires you're running. So let's get into the tires. So in accordance with suspension, the tire is probably the most important thing that is on your car. It's the only thing that makes contact with the road. Think about that. The only thing on the car that makes contact with the actual road you are driving on is the tire. So that tells you how important these are. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we're not going to go over like the sizings and fitment and signs behind all these videos. This is more kind of like a directional guidance, which you'll see what that means. I just made that up. But if you want to see all that other technical stuff, like I said, on our YouTube channel, we do a series called Will It Fit and a series called Talkin' Tires. So check those out. It's really cool. Subscribe if you haven't, because if you do, you can ring that notification bell and you'll be notified of all the cool S2000 content that we do. So let's get into the tires. The first one here is the Yokohama A052. Now this tire is a very sticky tire. It has fantastic dry grip. It has fantastic wet grip. On the track though, it's a one-hit wonder. One lap, you're done. Probably have 2 or 3 cool down laps out of it, but this is not a set consistent laps tire. I can't speak on the street life of this specific tire. I know some people run them, but I haven't heard too much feedback. Just based off of the softness of the compound and how they perform on track, I don't see these lasting too long on the street. But if you want to ball out and you want to have super high grip everywhere for however long they last, it's a great tire. Yokohama makes fantastic tires. We always have these in stock. Can fit these with any of our wheel packages that we have in stock right now. So if you haven't seen our video that we did yesterday, check it out. We go over all our in-stock exhaust options and wheel options that we can package with any of the tires that you see here. So let's move on. Yokohama A052. All right, so the next tire we're going to go over, next one of 2 tires I'm going to go over, are probably 2 of the most popular ones that we do for the S2000 specifically. Now, you can get these tires for obviously other applications, so this opinion or information I'm going to give you is going to obviously translate to other platforms. So this is the Falcon 615K Plus. Now, yes, this is a used version. It's not new. We don't sell them like this. This is not a new Falcon tire. So take it easy, don't roast me. But I just wanted to talk about it. They're sold out right now, which should tell you something, but we have a fresh batch coming for any of you who are interested. The 615K Plus is a 200 treadwear tire. So if you're looking for something dual duty, this is the perfect tire. One reason being they last a long time. Compared to all other 200 treadwear tires on the market, these are really, really stout. They last a long time. And not only that, they're good dual duty. So they work well in the street, they work well in the canyons, and they work well for some light track work. They're a fairly progressively giving tire. They're not going to snap like some of the higher grip tires out there. So if it's, early track days or a tire you want to kind of learn on, this is also kind of, checks that box as well. Falcon 615K Plus. So the next one of the two, which I'm going to have to reach here off camera real quick and roll it over, is the Falcon Rt6 Sticky. No, sorry. The 660. Rt660 by Falcon. If the tread pattern looks familiar to you, it is almost identical to the RE71R. Not to be confused with the RE71RS, which is the new one that came out. But this is the Rt660, very wide contact patch. Huge bolstering shoulder, so if you have wider wheels, say in like a 10 or a 10.5 width spec, these tires are going to maximize that contact patch and contact width with the road. They are a wide running tire, so if you want something meaty, a 245 in this will run like a 255 in other tires, so keep that in mind. Especially you S2000 guys, 255 is the norm spec. Square setup for the S2000. The Rt660 is a 255, but kind of runs like a 265. So if you kind of want to get that edge in maybe fitment a little bit, or maybe even on the track, perfect tire to consider. Rt660 by Falcon. All right, the next tire is going to be fairly controversial because one, they're not as popular at least in our experience here at the shop, and they've also gone up in price, which, obviously, let me just talk about it. The Federal tire. I always want to bring this up that Federal is for America. These tires are made for America with Patriot pride. So there's love and care in these tires. So if you want to be an American patriot and support the United States of America, you need to buy these Indonesian, Taiwanese, whatever conglomerate, union, corporation tire these are. So I only have one set of these, but there seems to be a cult following on these tires. I do get a lot of calls on Federal, surprisingly. We don't stock them because there's plenty of other great options in the same price point or better. But there's some diehard Federal fans out there, so I do have one set of these RSRRs. I've ran these before on an S2000 I had back in the day, and at the price point they were back in the day, they were fantastic. They didn't last too long, and they started chunking if you threw it around enough at the track, but they offered some fantastic grip and turn-in response for the price point. So if you're looking for a Federal tire, I do have one set in stock. It is a 255/40/17, so it's a square setup for the S2000 guys. Or if you happen to need that size, I have it. Whoops. Alrighty, guys and gals. Last but not least, this is for you C5 spec Corvette guys. The Nankang N2S NS2R. I am dyslexic today. It's a 315/30/18 spec, so it's for those C5 Corvette spec guys and gals. We have these always in stock, ready to go. Our Rockstar Garage M5 racing wheel, we have one specifically made for the C5 Corvette spec people to go with this tire. So if you're looking for a new set of wheels that are lightweight, that are forged, that give you great clearance for aftermarket brake setups, we have that for you in stock, always ready to go. Nankang N2SR.
Sure.
NS2R. Alrighty, Rockstar. So we went over the suspension setups today. All the coilovers that we have in stock here at Rockstar Garage right now. Fuel suspension always ready to go. We do have a couple sets of Öhlins left. Here, I'll put these. Let's see. I do have a couple sets of Öhlins left. If you are interested in Öhlins, But Rockstar Garage spec field suspension, always ready to go. Run them on all our street cars, all our race cars have them. They've been breaking records across the country, so it's not like there's no pedigree behind these. We do have some real world feedback to back these up, so that's really weird. Anyway, I think it's live while I'm live. Oh wow, I can, yeah, that's liveception. That's those. You can see my brain disengaging on camera. Alrighty, rock stars, thank you so much for joining us here. I hope there's something you learned from this video, at least that we have these in stock ready to go, or if you had questions on spring rates and kind of what tire to go with for what application, what you plan to do. I hope there's something that you took away from this video. Any other questions, please feel free to leave a comment, DM us, give me a call, stop by the shop. I'm more than welcome to go over any of these things that we went over today, tailor some suspension setup for you depending on what you plan to do with the car. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all the support. See you guys on the next one, and let us know here at Rockstar Garage. Do you like us going live and kind of going over all these parts in detail like this, or would you much rather the shorter versions and kind of just straight to the point? So thank you guys and gals, rock stars. Appreciate the support. See you on the next one.